Hello Bread fans, this is Jay of Insane Coaster Junkie, and welcome to the first official video of 2022. Because what happened previously happened and I don't want to talk about it. This officially marks the beginnings of the 2022 roller coaster season for Insane Coaster Junkie, as there are quite a few ideas Alex and I have been brewing up. Despite an ongoing pandemic causing chaos throughout the world, we are taking the best ways to protect ourselves and others throughout the year, and provide the best content we can provide you. This year also marks another year of rebuilding. Just like my home park, Waldemar, it's going to take a while longer to get this channel back to 100%, aka pre-pandemic a la 2019. Don't expect 2019 this year, but we do have our own identity for this. But do not worry, this year is looking bright for all aspects regardless of the situations thrown at me. Let's look at the possible contenders for this year, shall we? When you're watching this video the day that it's being released, I have already visited Splash Lagoon on January 8th. Now the question stands for all of you, why in the absolute hell would we visit an indoor water park during a time like Omicron?
You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, in all seriousness, Alex, his friend Bryce, and I have taken caution and have pushed forward with this visit to the water park. I won't know specifically what my thoughts of Splash Lagoon will be in the rebuilding era, but I guess I'll let the videos explain for themselves. Rumor on the street is that the visit was a success and followed the likes of the 2020 pre-pandemic. However, I will not be discussing this topic quietly, damn it. We have some salt to spill. Earlier this off-season, Splash Lagoon mysteriously posted on their social medias a mysterious water slide part arriving to their water park, and currently sits at the former laser tag building. I am optimistic about a new water slide of some sort or a form of expansion after the success of Flow Rider. In terms of the park as it stands, this water park could use some upgrades. I won't go much in detail in this video, but it's slowly getting better as we speak. Just needs that push off the Allegheny to get it to something worth coming back to. But we will see in the future if it's working back. This visit basically combines the best aspects of the early and mid-2020 vlogs, but receives its own identity as said before. I won't spoil it just yet, but don't worry, I didn't catch Omicron, only chlorine. If you know, you know. 2022 is actually looking bright for my home park, Waldemar. It's one of several parks in the ICG algorithm that could just go back to normal operations, a la 2019. But however, there are some tricks up my sleeves. 2021 was an insane year for my home park, regardless of what you or may not say otherwise. With this success in mind, this year is about to get a whole hell of a lot more interesting. Let me explain why. First off, my plan still stands to return working on Clean Team. Now, due to company policy, as I've said many times before, I can't say much about the job. But overall, I did enjoy it last season and learned a lot from that experience. It makes it pretty damn sense to come back. Insane Coaster Cleaner returns to make your bathroom sparkle. Now I just need some Billy Mays and OxyClean and I'll be set.
The Boom Blaster makes a huge explosion with the flick of a switch.
In terms of as a guest / YouTuber, there are a lot of things to consider. Ravine Flyer 2 is going to be a focal point for the 2022 season for this channel. Alex and I will be reaching great milestones so good that whoever works the ride this year needs to add a legitimate counter to make sure all these rides are legitimate. Alex will be reaching 10,000 lifetime rides and I will be reaching 1,000 lifetime rides. And I for sure will have to make something special out of it. Vlogs will stay in the same format as last season, as that style seemed to work out extremely well. And other series such as Amusement Drive-Thru and Parkini are low on content. But we will work things out to ensure the best quality possible. I promise there won't be much repetition. And with the Super Bowl punishment and more challenges up my ass, 2022 is looking great for this park. Not one ride will go unnoticed. I'm looking at you, Factory of Sadness, aka Spider. Like last year's, all rides will be accounted for, as well as a subsequent Breadfans guide similar to last year. And new for 2022, I will throw the water slides from Waterworld into the fray just to f*** around with more numbers. With all these ideas and more, Waldemar 2022 is looking to be done the Great Western way. And you Breadfans are going to have to buckle that seatbelt and pull down your lap bar and enjoy your flight on Waldemar Flyer 4. We are over halfway done with the Waldemar off-season, so it's full speed ahead to May, goddammit! New York has been slowly phasing back into Insane Coaster Junkie even when the pandemic rages harder than any other art classes I've taken. No offense to Penn West Edinburgh. Regardless, this was a park I've been itching to come back since my first and only visit in 2018. And I completely honestly forgot this park existed. I thought the park even closed down for good due to the struggles of the pandemic. An active Bread fan in the ICJ community, Obama Alert, has made a good point. And here's what he said. Every year, Jay visits an outlier park. An outlier park is described as a park that is different from the other parks I have visited in that given year. If this park comes to fruition, Midway State Park could possibly be the ICJ outlier park of 2022. They haven't added much since my last visit in 2018, and with some creative freedom up my ass, I plan to spend some more time at the park, going deeper about the rides I've ridden and riding rides I've also missed. From getting on new rides such as their bumper cars and merry-go-round, to redefining my opinions on Little Dipper, there are a lot of possibilities to consider. And considering this is actually a legit state park, I actually might want to go explore some of the more nature elements, so this vlog might be a little bit more variety than in years past. And with this park being less than an hour drive away, so technically being the second closest park to me, it's definitely possible a day trip will be possible for this park. Also, with the park writing nice comments on my video I made back in 2018, there is no doubt that a return visit is looking likely. I know it's nearly 4 years late, but I just want to say it here. Thank you to the fine folks at Midway State for taking the time to write about the rides I rode and the fun facts associated with them. I really do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to coming back as soon as possible. Holy f***. New York, here we come! You can never go wrong with a yearly visit to Cedar Point, America's rock and roller coast. It is another park within the ICJ universe that is most likely going back to its normal operating ways, barring any unforeseen circumstances. However, since 2021, there is quite a few things to consider for the 2022 season. First off is the obvious. Wicked Twister and antique cars are removed. While there's a lot of speculation in terms of replacements to these former attractions that I got my last rides on, this is not the video for it. I don't have time to predict rides, only park plans. After the success of my Cedar Point vlog last year, there is a standard that must be followed for years to come. And after the Top Thrill Dragster incident in August, it's possible for the coaster to reopen for this year, and a few more minor opinions might need to be refined for this, such as getting re-rides on Iron Dragon, Gatekeeper, and a select few flat rides. One of the most popular restaurants at the park, Melt, has been a highly anticipated parkini, and after a 30-minute wait I refused to wait for last year, this could be another year of repolishing for this park. Some of the traditional ICJ activities have not been executed since 2019, so it will be interesting to see what kind of I do this time. In terms of Alex, it's also most likely that he will be returning to the park this year. This has been also an annual tradition for him as well, and most of his opinions and viewpoints are very similar to mine. And at this point in time, we are confident where we're at with this park. However, there is one final piece to the ICJ puzzle. Former teammate and longtime partner of Insane Coaster Junkie might just find a new home to operate. I'm not allowed to say who at this time or what it is, but this person can easily go from Ravine Flyer 2 to Millennium Force in a heartbeat. Who is this mystery person? We'll find out soon enough. Beyond words, beyond competition, beyond... Damn it. Speaking on behalf of Alex for this segment, Kennywood has been on the recent upswing. Wait, what? How? Somehow this is one of his new favorite parks now? Palace Entertainment? Parques Reunidos? What the f*** happened? I thought this park was the Factory of Sadness because it's in Pittsburgh.
Hi, Billy Mays here to talk about your life.
From his point of view, this park has a bright future ahead for the 2022 season. With the improvements to the park proper as well as the grand return of Kangaroo, this is a park to keep your eyes on, Breadfans. You then might be asking this question. When is Jay, the face of Insane Coaster Junkie, that's me, coming back to Kennywood? The answer might have to be this year. 2022 will mark 3 years since my first and only visit to the park, and there are quite a few gaps to fill upon returning. Skyrocket and Steel Curtain will be the obvious new coaster credits to ride, while flat rides such as Black Widow will define the flat ride race. I also have a few good ideas for videos in regards to videos. The Potato Patch is a highly anticipated parkini and make improvements to the upcoming vlog. I would also love to try to make my favorite rides at the park once everything has been completed. In terms of Alex, it's looking like to be more of a similar story to 2021, but with the hopeful addition, don't count on me, but hopefully of possibly adding videos from Alex. But it will be a process. We will see though. Look forward to Kennywood to becoming another center of attention as Waldemar and Splash Lagoon have become for this future. Another home park for Alex, and another park just because it's in the Pittsburgh area. Now, it's definitely likely Alex will be back to this park from time to time this year, as it has been previous years. Idlewild, as mentioned in previous episodes, is in a state of purgatory, not getting any better or worse. It's just there and something besides Kennywood, like I said before. Like that said park, this was teased for a first-time trip since 2020. I'm even debating if Idlewild is the best thing to do at this point. Now, from my point of view, it's a little overpriced children's park with barely any good rides that just feels like an industry baby. No offense to Lil Nas X, but this park is not that good. Only 2 good credits with a lackluster wooden coaster with roller coaster, and a decent but rare Vekoma Wild Mouse with a tilted lift hill. Other than that, there's an okay log flume and that's about it. And don't get me started with Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. These assholes at Palace Entertainment thought it was a good idea to get rid of my sexy man Fred Rogers and replace him with a dumbed down version of one of my childhood favorite shows. I'm so pissed off that I want to go full Yinzer. But honestly, I'm not in the goddamn mood today. And like last time, my fans are right about telling me that Idlewild isn't worth it to begin with. It's not. Ugh. Alex can come and go to this park as much as he wants. I'm not going to stop him. It's home park advantage. But for me, it's not likely unless the Yinzer goes Yinzer. Again, Pittsburgh vlogs need to make a debut to this channel, or Corvette right into the Allegheny. This year, on Days of Our Junkies, the roller coaster enthusiast seeks out another visit to Darien Lake in spite of a goddamn pandemic ravaging the concerts and coasters formula. To quote Obama alert once again, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and unfortunately, the story of the highly anticipated C5, The Sickness Arises, a follow-up to the successful Tri-C in 2019, has been adjusted once more. This time in our victim, Omicron. This goddamn coronavirus variant is more mild, but even more contagious, and it's tearing this park apart. It's looking like things are out of control, and to be safer than sorry, and to disappoint the living shit out of you Bread fans once more. Loco Bone and I have made the hard decision to cancel concerts and coasters for 2022. This decision was not taken lightly, but after his concerns of large crowds for concert venues, concerts will not be returning to the ICJ formula for a while longer. Even with bands scheduling dates at the amphitheater, and both of us being fully vaccinated and boosted, and for the best protection of everyone, this annual summer tradition will be now considered SB&O, standing but not operating for the time being. Now, it's possible to go back to the park for a traditional visit like my original trip in 2015, and even Alex have an increasing interest to return to the park for his missing credits, like Ride of Steel and Tantrum. But the state of the park is looking uncertain at this time. God f***ing damn it. This park blew it to shits, and now I can't seem to enjoy it. I guess this is the new normal, having a Six Flags day without actually going to Six Flags. That's just pathetic if you ask me. The entire story of getting back to Darien Lake has been quite a mess, and only time will tell when returning to my New York home park will be possible once again. It's just another story in the fray, and this will conclude another episode of Days of Our Junkies. Let's rewind all the way back to 2016 after the original concerts and coasters at Darien Lake. There is this little park under the name Martin's Fantasy Island, a small amusement park near Niagara Falls with some cool rides and a decent CCI wooden coaster named Silver Comet. However, this park was just one of my top bucket list small parks I wanted to visit along the likes of Seabreeze. Sadly, 2020 just had to be a bitch. Fantasy Island would close after its owner, Apex Park, which also owned Indiana Beach, went 6 feet under and declared bankruptcy, right before the pandemic went to shit. This park sat in limbo, rides being removed, and more looking like an abandoned wasteland, no offense to Six Flags New Orleans. Their water park would reopen in summer 2021, and a new owner would come to the rescue. Enter Gene Staples, a god in the roller coaster industry who would save Indiana Beach and this park too, rebranding it to Niagara Amusement Park, and is projected to fully reopen in 2022. Like Midway or Six Flags Darien Lake, this could easily be a day trip to consider, but unless I'm around the Niagara Falls area, this park is looking unlikely at the moment. However, don't rage quit just yet. It's another park we can start planning for with future consideration. I don't necessarily need to go to its reopening year. I would love to and finally ride Silver Comet as one of my top bucket list coasters in the area and finally explore it, but I'll take my time. But it's looking a lot better, unlike a certain park owned by a certain person didn't do. Time for the drawing board, I guess. Let's rewind back to last year. In spite of the pandemic and fairgrounds becoming one of the most disgusting places to go due to germs, I still pushed ahead. I visited the Erie County Fair in Hamburg, New York for the first time since 2015, and proved that anything is possible with space and money. There are definitely plenty of options to explore, so we'll quickly go with all available costs. First off is returning to this aforementioned fair. This was one of my personal favorite fairs for me and my grandparents, and we all have a similar opinion regarding it. It's worth a day trip alone to get back and see the full potential of this fair since 2014. Moving on next is the Albion Area Fair. I visited this fair once back in September 2019 with an ex-girlfriend I would definitely love to forget, but this was a small but solid fair to give my off-season a little push, something similar to Splash Lagoon. There's also the Erie County Fair right here in Pennsylvania, aka Redneckville, Wattsburg. I visited this small fair a long time ago, way before my channel, so this might be a fun little road trip to devour for. And the final fairground I'd like to point out is the ever-popular Crawford County Fair. I also haven't visited this fair in years, but it's one of my top bucket list places to return locally. From its insane ride collection to the overall atmosphere, even my fans from that area can speak on behalf of me that this can be a possibility. I have unfortunately ruled out the IX Indoor Amusement Park in Cleveland because it is in the state of limbo like a certain Northwest Pennsylvania amusement park. Even with this sadly stopping operation in 2020, I had my time in 2018 to enjoy that. Regardless of what happens with this aspect of Insane Coaster Junkie, there is quite a lot to consider, but only one or two might win the title for 2022. Good luck, carnies. You're gonna need it.
Don't get eliminated!
I have saved this park last for a reason. The actions that Todd Joseph did to this park is inexcusable and is honestly illegal.
This is illegal, you know.
He took an historic amusement park, which was recently on the upswing, and did a Geauga Lake to eliminate competition from Waldemar and for the local community. Already displayed enough damn salt last year, so it's what the f*** ever at this point. Many of my bread fans have asked me throughout this offseason if Conneaut Lake Park will open for the 2022 season, or will the park be closed for good. My true honest answer is that I don't give a shit anymore at this point. I don't care what happens to this park in the future because the park has been damaged beyond repair for me. They can magically turn the park around and I still won't care. However, if things couldn't get any worse, boy, you're in for a ride. Recently, on January 4th, the park was already in the process of demolishing Blue Streak without a permit and used controlled fires to burn the wood. This controlled fire quickly got out of control and engulfed the entire beginning and ending of the coaster. But if there's anything I've learned since last year about this park, never f***ing trust a man named Todd Joseph. Bad shit happens when he comes around Breadfans. The rest of the coaster ended up getting demolished, and sadly, this is the end of Conneaut Lake Park as I have correctly predicted. I said my goodbyes in 2021 just in case, and I was goddamn right. Me and the rest of the coaster community are completely devastated on what's been done. Todd Joseph, if you're watching this video, f*** you, man. You should be jailed for your illegal actions. I guess this is goodbye to one of my home parks for good. Waldemar was the better home park anyway, so hopefully they can take some notes so they don't end up like Conneaut.
Todd Joseph! F*** you son of a bitch! You destroyed the Blue Streak, you Todd Joseph, you could burn rotten hell just like Blue Streak did. You worthless piece of shit. You. You worthless huckleberry piece of shit. All you care about is yourself, not about Conneaut Lake.
So before I end off this video, let's put all of our park ideas into a better condensed form so we can have an outlook through the coaster season. As I stated before, 2022 is another rebuilding year for the channel, so it might be a slow return, and barring any unforeseen circumstances with the pandemic, it's full speed ahead. And remember, some may or may not happen, so take everything with a grain of salt. Splash Lagoon is already one and done for the season. With videos on the Lifeline and rumor on the street is a successful visit, this is a park we can already cross off. Waldemar is pretty much obvious at this point. No bread fans should be surprised about this park, so let's move on. Midway State Park is looking like to be the outlier park of 2022, and definitely at this time has more than a 50% chance of happening, so this is a park I will have my close eyes on for this summer. Cedar Point is a 50-50 shot for right now, but it's looking like to work in my favor for a return trip. This has been a yearly tradition for Alex and I to visit the park, so I'm not worried at the moment. Something also to keep an eye on is Kennywood. This park is on a similar path currently if you're looking for me, but for Alex, it will be obvious for him since it's home park advantage, and there's quite a lot to look forward to with all these cosmetic upgrades. Maybe with these said changes and more might do the trick to make me return for the first time in 3 years. Idlewild is another home park advantage for Alex that will have a few visits, but this park is a wild card for me at this time. It's been teased since 2020, but according to fan testimony, this is a park that might not be worth visiting, so let's move on. With C5 the Sickness Arises canceled for 2022, chances of Darien Lake are falling faster with interceptions, no offense to Baker Mayfield, but the tradition of concerts and coasters will not be happening for this year, but there is a slim chance of a traditional visit happening this year. Same with Fantasy Island. Unless I'm around the area and this visit happens by pure magic or around the Niagara Falls area, this is an idea that can start being planned now and maybe 2023 being the year for the new Niagara. Fairgrounds are definitely possible for the new year as well. The return to the Erie County Fair in New York is proof that I can safely make a comeback during hard times. It's unknown what fair I could choose or end up going to, but the reality is out there. And for Conneaut Lake Park, you, Todd Joseph. It's your own fault for this illegally getting rid of a historic amusement park. Enough salt spilled, the story ends here for this part. And that's it. Overall, 2022 is looking like to be just as good as 2021, if not better with the right circumstances. Rebuilding after the pandemic and the major channel renovation will take time, so please be patient. Don't go out telling Breadfans this is 2019 all over again. I'm really trying not to burn out. The best way to approach this is at least 1 week at a time. See where things are with my personal life in parks and go from there. But there are some interesting ideas for Insane Coaster Junkie this season. Splash Lagoon early on proved that things are getting back to the right track. Exactly what I wanted after the success of the last Rift vlog back in September. Alex returns to Kennywood in April, and I will be returning to Waldemere in May. So there's a lot to look for. 2022 might not be the year we expect, but it's sure going to be one hell of a ride regardless. Buckle up and get ready, Bread fans. This is our year. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the parks very soon.
And here's what you have to understand. We don't even expect you to be good. We just want you to be watchable.